coming into race 2, MX2. The 15-second board is up. Jeffrey Hurling still undefeated at the moment. Jeremy Seawer now 64 points behind in second, but he's still looking good for a podium here today. The gate about to drop, a lightning reaction from Hurling, and immediately comes across towards his teammate. Max Anstey decided to start about 8 gates down and gets carnage there, and Bernardini goes down. So too does Valentin, and the number 15 getting caught out there as well of Davide Bonini, and I think Ferrandis was in there as well. But Petrov right there in third position, so he gets the start that he wanted. Anstey in about 5th place on the right-hand side on the Husqvarna. So 1 or 2 riders going down at the first turn. It's notorious for that kind of melee. Anstey nips up the end. Oh, somebody goes straight on onto the infield. Damon Growlers thought he was freestyling. Very lucky that no one was stood the other side of the banking there, but it's that's why we don't have fans on the infield. So Growler's going straight on and thrown away that start of his. He was inside the top 10 at that point. But Petrov moving forward already, but Hurling's disappearing out front. Where is Jonas? Well, Jonas might have been one of the guys that went down in the first corner as well. So Hurling's clear of Seawer at the moment. Just so Jonas goes down possibly at the first turn, and Robert Just, the other Latvian, is right there in 3rd place. 4th is Petrov, 5th is Anstey, 6th is David Herberto. So Herberto getting a good start on that Honda Garibaldi machine. Railing around the outside, then we have Alvin Osman, Henry Jacobi, then Benoit Pacharel in 9th, and Jorge Zaragoza in 10th as we pick back up with the leader, Jeffrey Hurling. Brian Borges is 11th, Several Yakub is 12th, Chervelin, Petrov, Ivan Petrov, Giuseppe Tropepi, Ika Laranaga, Calvin Valandran, Simone Zakina, Paul Jonas 19th, and Jaap Kornath, your top 20. Ferrandis did go down on the first turn. He's in 22nd place. Van Donnick 23rd. Freddie Vanderbliss 24th. Getterman 29th. Conrad Muse, Damon Growlis right towards the back. Bernardini also going down on the first turn. David Herberto, 338, looking for a way past on the Honda Garibaldi. But it's Petrov just ahead of him at the moment. So Petrov just there in 5th place on that Monster Energy Kawasaki. Then Herberto getting a great start this time around, much needed for him. 13th and 14th he finished in Valkenswaard, the only round he's done this year. Didn't go to any of the flyways, of course. So David Herberto, be interesting to see how he can finish. He was 14th in the first race here. But Robert Just, perfect start for him. And he'll be buoyed. He literally lives just a few k's away from here. Left out of the circuit, down to the main road, you bang a left or right, and then you're over the river and you're pretty much at his house. But Hurling's doing what he couldn't do in moto number 1. He's got clear track ahead of him. Look at him, just corner speed, hooking it up everywhere. Replay of the start coming up in just a couple of moments, but Hurling's already 6.5 seconds clear after 1 full lap. Right, Jonas up the inside, and there's Dylan Ferrandis, number 4. So those guys were 2 that were caught in the first turn. Crash possibly. Look towards the inside. Yeah, Jonas got caught. He went down, and so too did Ferrandis. Brent Van Donnick got caught, so too Calvin Valandran, and Bernardini ended up over there somewhere. He was almost in Riga. And then watch this. Left side of the screen, Whiskey a go-go. And that was Damon Growlis just getting it completely wrong. Jonas on the fight back through the field, though. Just behind the 223 of Giuseppe Tropepi. So he's about 15th at the moment. 14th now as he flies back past him. Sometimes it's easier to race like this when you've got absolutely everything to play for. You ride on instinct, and Ferrandis right with him as well, so they're both firing through the field. Ferrandis is on the charge, and he doesn't want to take down Jonas there. Those two have history as well. Valkens, I remember last year, down the start straight, Ferrandis picked up a bit of a penalty. They're offering a leg into the side of the KTM, remember, so he'll want to try and avoid all contact if necessary. Up the inside of Jonas, top of the hill, hard on the brakes. Jonas retaliates. Gets himself back in front of the Kawasaki rider. Interesting to see where they are as they come over the line. Zaragoza going through there, number 101. He takes the outside line. Chervelin just ahead of Jonas and Ferrandis. Nicely moved there by the 101 was pulls Jonas, gets himself up into 13th place. So after 2 complete laps then, don't take my eyes off of the screen. Don't want to miss any of the action. Jonas all over the place, just trying to thread his way through like a needle as he catches the traffic ahead of him. Ferrandis following him through. They both make passes in that instance. Hurling's lead, Siwa second, Anstey third, Just is fourth now. Petrov fifth, Herbert sixth, Patrel 7, Osland 8, Borgers is in 9th, Severbruyakov is 10th here, and then it's Chervelin 11th in red. Then we've got Jacoby just next in 11th place. In 12th place, sorry. And then Jonas, and then Ferrandis. That's these two here. Nicely done there from Jonas. Henry Jacoby on the Saarholz. On the JTEC machine just ahead of them. Number 29. Oh, Jonas gets it wrong, runs wide. Almost had a Growlers moment. Open invite there for number 4, Dylan Ferrandis, as he goes through them. Nicks a position, and already he's got Jacoby right in his line of sight. Jacoby looks over his shoulder, sees the flash of green. But Ferrandis, and Ferrandis just keeps it nailed through the waves, landing in those deep ruts. You have to be so committed through there just to get the distance. Not easy doing it through there, though, on that part of the racetrack. So Jonas lost 2 positions. Or lost a position, certainly, to Dylan Ferrandis, who's already moved ahead of Jacoby. This time he goes to the inside of the German. Oh, takes his line cleanly away from him. Oh, it goes down! Jonas just slides, gets it completely wrong, ran out of track, picks himself up. He's got it all to do again. The wheels are falling off this one for Jonas in race 2. Back at the front, though, Jeremy Siwa, 91. Suzuki World MX2, and he's got the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Max Anstey breathing down his neck as he goes after 2nd place here. Just like he did in Moto number 1, Max Anstey. Would love to just finish on the podium at the moment. Oh, launches it long down the inside. Siwa knows he's there. Anstey's not going to rush it. 13 seconds behind Jeffrey Hurlings, these two. Hurlings not even anywhere to be seen down that next straight. That's how far he is ahead. Anstey regroups, looks to go again. Jeremy Siwa. Where's Petr Petrov? He's in 5th place behind Roberts just at the moment. At 3 seconds behind, so riding an inspired race at the moment. Robert Just on the HSF Logistics Motorsport KTM, just behind these two guys. They're 3-4 seconds behind. So Anstey nicely done through the long right, short left. Monster Energy finish line here. Jeremy Siwa over the line at 55.130, his fastest lap of the race. 55.183, so 500ths slower for Max Anstey, who jumps long over that crest, tries to pull back a few yards extra, and here's the other battle. Well, there was the other battle coming into that same corner. And Petrov around the outside of Roberts Just, and gets himself up into 4th place. But Just still having a great race. Anstey just burying the wheels in that deep berm in the background. penultimate corner, the final turn here. As we said a moment ago, having to regroup, going back after the 91 of Jeremy Searle. Searle, the new kid on the block in 2016. In terms of his arrival at the podium on a frequent basis. 4th at the opening round, and then 2nd, 3rd, and a pair of seconds last time at Patagonia and Leon in Mexico. Max Anstey, meanwhile, still searching for his first podium visit in 2016. Something that was a regular occurrence for the Brit in 2015. In fact, Anstey won here last year. Just watch every time they go through there. Anstey, back end, just getting a wicked kick every time they go through the waves. At this stage of the day, when it's so rutted through there, you just have no idea that the guys are going to get through there or not. Of course, these guys, fully professionals, but they carry so much speed through there. But Anstey, in terms of podium visits last year, his first was in Germany at Teushenthal, where he got 2nd overall. He won here, of course, in the absence of Jeffrey Hurlings, but he won't care about that. He took 2 more overalls as well at Lommel and in Lombardia at Mantova, and was 2nd in the Netherlands at Assen. Hurlings on fire, look, 19 seconds clear already, and 18.5 minutes to go. His lap time last time around, a 52.3. Just look at the comparisons. The best lap, Jeffrey Hurlings on lap 1, a 51.433. Jeremy Searle's fastest lap was a 55.1 on lap 4. And Anstey's just behind him here, number 99, a 54.4. So 3 full seconds slower than Hurlings' opening lap. And Hurlings is still lapping in the 52s at the moment. Whereas these guys have now dropped it down to 55s. You could argue that Anstey is just being held up by Jeremy Searle. You could also argue that these guys are both pushing and are just running the same pace anyway. Of course, Searle, it's him that's leading Anstey in that 2nd position at the moment. Anstey at the moment has no reply. Bike changing direction all the way through there. The first 2, it's fine, then it starts to tighten up, and then it dips and goes uphill. So much going on with the suspension. Riders neatly picking their front wheels up just to clear some of the holes, see how the bike's moving around. Gives you some idea as to how hard the ground is in places as well. The ferocity in which the suspension is pushing through the stroke, but it's the same for everybody. But Hurlings, though, is the leader at the moment by 21 seconds. Max Anstey launching it into this bottom corner here, clearing some of the braking bumps on the downside, but not able to gain any yards on Jeremy Searle. In the meanwhile, Petr Petrov about 11 seconds further back in 4th position, and that's not going to be good enough for a podium here for Petr Petrov. 5th at the moment as it stands, and he's another rider yet to sniff the box in 2016. No pun intended. Anstey on the back wheel, dancing through that long sweeping turn 3. Brylyakov and Chervelin going at it. Brylyakov dropping down according to our timing stream, but he's still there ahead of Chervelin, so obviously having a glitch with his transponder possibly. But he's right there, just behind Borges in 9th and 10th place, so there's Brylyakov there in 10th. Chervelin in 11th, looking to go through on the Honda, and does so, and then Brylyakov fights back and goes straight on as well. We've seen a couple of guys do that, and Ferrandis has been the beneficiary on more than one occasion then, in that very same corner. Just 1 or 2 braking bumps there. The reaction from the suspension is to go in and ping it out there And the guys then are just missing their braking zone, going over the berm and having to correct it last minute. The only guy that didn't save it was Damon Growlis on the opening lap. His back end was so far west of him. So Brylyakov losing 2 places then in that little exchange. Good ride for Ferrandis actually as well, considering he's been off and out of action with a dislocated shoulder. Jonas now to 19th, finding his way past Freddie van der Vlis. He fell in that corner, didn't he? So he was on the ascendancy. He was right there with Ferrandis in around about 12th place, 13th place when he fell again. Definitely messing up his chance of being on a podium here for his fans. That's the one thing that he would have wished for. But Herlings setting the fastest second sector, sorry, with a 31.2. We wait for Searle and Anstey to go through, and we see what their second sector is. Just by comparison, a 32.7, 32.8, so 1.5 seconds, 1.6 seconds quicker. And here he is with 14 minutes plus 2 to go, absolutely demolishing everybody here. Oh, he's using his legs here, working all the time. Oh, nicely done, just rails that corner. Messes up that one though. Very rare that that happens. He's having fun, isn't he? So Herlings, 8 laps complete already, working his way back towards turn 1. Still waiting for, they can go 26.5 seconds, 28.8 seconds. The gaps back to Searle and Anstey, respectively. As Herlings continues to rail berms, he never goes in too deep. Keeps that momentum going. He's always in the lowest part. The point where it's least deepest or has its least depth. And just not afraid to attack anything, is he? Oh, easily over that double as well. Massively getting the distance. Anstey still struggling to wrestle past Jeremy Searle. They battle over second place. Of course, this is going to be another podium for Jeremy Searle. That'll be 5 in 6 rounds. But Anstey will be on 42 to Jeremy Searle's 40. He will take over second behind Jeffrey Herlings, who will be on 50, of course. Petrov, 15 seconds adrift of Anstey in 4th place. Pat Cairoli in 5th, about 2 seconds further back. Then Robert Just, 7 seconds further back, but if he finishes in the top 10 in this race, that'll be as good as a win for the Latvian. David Herberto, Arvin Osland, Brian Borgers, Evgeny Chervelin, Dylan Ferrandis, all locked together, all 1 second apart from each other in terms of the gaps between each other. Anstey just getting it a little bit wrong through that rhythm section again. Good ride from Searle. He was a little bit quiet in the first one. Certainly not quiet in moto number 2. Freddie van der Vlis, number 88. Just doing his best to stay out of the way there. Been a tough GP for the team H&R GPR promo Kawasaki pilot. There's Petrov and Benoit Paturel. Getting ready to come over the line now in 4th place. He is 48.3 seconds down on Herlings already after 9 laps. Good solid ride from Benoit Paturel as well. This will give him 5th overall if he stays there. Both these guys last year, when we came to this Latvia round, Paturel was 16th overall. Petrov didn't ride. All Gagala riders, of which Ferrandis is one of them. found his way past Febvre and Febvre is now down in 12th place. There's Herberto, there's Borges, and just ahead of them, Ferrandis in amongst it all somewhere. Number 4 dives down the inside of Chervelin, but Chervelin was just right in his line. Alvin Osland's already been passed. So many people up and down the leaderboard at the moment, and from about 7th down to about 15th. High pace, high tempo. MX2 moto here. There's Ferrandis. Neatly done into that corner again. He's found a very, very nice line. Severyakovs picks up on it as well. Tries to follow the enigmatic Frenchman through. Gulikov going around the outside of Alvin Osland. As Osland drops down from 9th place. See where he pops up over the line at the 10th time of asking in just a few moments. But Ferrandis around the outside of Chervelin. Might go in early here. Looks to pass Herberto. Herberto got caught napping there, and so too did Chervelin. 2 riders in one stretch of track for Ferrandis. Makes his job a little bit easier. Now he goes after Robert Juss and Brian Borges. The 2 HSF boys. Calvin Villander their 3rd teammate, down in 14th at the moment. Just has found his way. But his teammate all over the back of him in 7th. Has he gone through? Not yet. Looking now, he does. So go, no, I don't know. Yeah, gets the job done, parks it down the inside and almost makes a mistake in that bottom corner. Drag race into the final corner. Borges does make it stick. Must be a couple of lines in there. Just tries to lean on him. Not able to go through. Oh, catches a deep rut as well. Ferrandis is going to be all over the back of him like a rash. Ferrandis has worked hard to pick himself up off the deck at turn 1. Meanwhile, Paul Jonas in 16th place now. So we've got Herlings with 7:40 on the clock, plus 2 laps. Herlings leads away from Jeremy Seawer and Max Anstey. That's these 2 here battling, getting ready to come over the line. But then we've got Petrov, Pacturel, 4th and 5th. Brian Borges is now up into 6th. Robert Just is down to 7th. Ferrandis is 8th. Chervelin 9. And up to 10th is Severyakovs. As Anstey makes a challenge around the outside and gets himself in a 2nd. Sketchy moment there from 91. Jeremy Seawer got a little bit too much climb time. The back end was a little bit skew on him as well. Did well to get it landed and keep it in a straight line, but Anstey was already committed to the outside as he came over the Monster Energy finish line and got himself in a 2nd position on lap 12. So all of a sudden, Anstey looking at 2 pairs, 2 2nd place finishes. That'll be the start or the boost that he needs to get his championship back on track. Although it's going to be very difficult to rein in Jeffrey Herlings. Just over 6 minutes to go. Jeffrey Herlings, 34 seconds clear. That's normally the distance that he's averaging when he wins motos this year. And he's only won 11 of them. But already looking like he's going to go out to a slightly bigger margin with 6 minutes plus 2 laps to go here in the 2nd race in Latvia. Anstey. Clear track now. Interesting to see what his lap time is this time around. It was a 54.444, his own personal best lap of the race last time around on lap 11. 12 laps in, and that was a 55.907. Jeffrey Hurling's fastest lap in the first race, a 51.673. This one 2/10 quicker, even though conditions are slightly rougher in the majority of places. So Hurling setting his fastest lap time in this second race of the weekend. Anstey 1:55.085, 36 seconds behind Jeffrey Hurling's. Jeremy Seawer just losing touch there already. Then Petrov more than 20 seconds adrift as well in fourth, but it's going to be good enough. He's getting close to the podium as well. 490 being lapped there. Francesc Mataro Villar on the Yamaha ACU Yamalube machine. Get the top 20 over the line. I'll give you a quick rundown. Starting with Jeffrey Hurling's 36 seconds clear of this guy. Max Anstey in second. Jeremy Seawer is in third still. Petr Petrov is fourth. Benoit Paturel fifth. Ferrandis sixth. A little bit of work to do to get on the rear wheel of Paturel though. Borges is 7. Robert Just is 8. Brulikov has dropped from 9th down to 13th at the moment, according to our timing. So another mistake for the Russian, possibly. Alvin Osland then up to 9th. Van Donnik 10th. Herbertro 11th. Valandrin 12. Larinaga 13. Jonas will be 14. 15th for Henry Jacobi. 16th for Zakina. 17 Bernardini. 18 Tropepi. Or it's just corrects itself, and Brulikov is still there in 9th place. So he's obviously having one or two little glitches there with his transponder at the moment, is the Russian. Anstey though with 3:20 on the clock, comfortable in that second place. Here's Seawer. He'll be pleased just to be back on the box here. Benoit Paturel going through. Still trying to close down on the 152 Monster Energy Kawasaki of Petr Petrov. Nothing in it between them. Seawer was 4th overall here last year. So looking like going one better. Picked up a 4th and a 5th in moto finishes, so he's looking at a 4th and a 3rd. So improvement all the way for the Swiss rider. But Petrov, has he spent all his energy coming through the field all weekend long in qualifying in race 1 and race 2, getting a good start, but just having a high tempo start to the race might have just hurt him a little bit, because Benoit Paturel is homing in on him, and possible 4th place here. Utilising the outside just to get the drive. Through that turn 6, here's turn 7. Looping back around, 180, 3rd wave added at the entry to the previous 2. Good though for Petrov. He'll take 4th overall in the championship by 2 points if he stays there. Climbing above Alexander Tonkov. Tonkov not riding, picked up a slight back injury, training at Lommel in the week. So this will be his highest place as Petrov has been in the championship. Benoit Paturel will stay 6th. Jonas up to 14th in the race now. How does that affect his podium chances? Well, he's going to be 7th overall on 27. Hasn't got too long left either. Hurling's already over the line, 14 laps complete. These guys still a way to go. In fact, Borges now going through in 7th. So we've got Hurling's, Anstey, Seawer, Petrov, Paturel in blue here on the Khmer Yamaha. Ferrandis about 17 seconds further back in 6th. Brian Borges 7th, Robert Just 8th, Severguliakov 9th, Alvin Osland 10th, Brent Van Donning is 11th, David Herberto is 12. Calvin Valandren 13, and Paul Jonas just going through in 14. 7 seconds down on Calvin Valandren. Was a lap 1 second quicker that time around, so not going to be able to influence that anymore. Is Jonas 14, looks like about as good as it's going to get. Barring a mistake from anybody else ahead of him. But Bernardini, Jacobi, Sakina and Trepepi all up past Nagl, who drops down to 19th according to our intermediate split here. Growlers in the points in 20th place. Petrov riding the wheels off his Kawasaki at the moment. Takes a look over to the left, see what's going on. Front end just a little high there, but needed to be. The nature of the ground changes this top end of the circuit so much. It's not so, it's not like a massive area, but as soon as you're on there and you suddenly turn left, you notice how hard the ground is, and the stones are right there on the top. It softens up a little bit down here. Brian Borges going after Dylan Ferrandis. So Ferrandis in 6th. Put in a decent stint today as the Frenchman, number 4. That ridge now that they're about to cross, just coming out of the final turn, that is almost so hard and hard packed. There was a couple of them this morning, the morning warm-up, and the riders were hitting them and they were just lighting up the tyre. So it was like a solid base through there. Very, very slick. Ah, Brilikov goes down, trying to push his way past Brian Borges. Loses the front. It's been one of those weekends for Febvre. Brent Van Bonneck right there. And Brent Van Donnick just trying to capitalise. I think he hasn't. And that right-hander. Here's Herlings. Wow, Herlings is on a charge. 2 laps to go, and Brent Van Donnick in 11th is just around the corner. David Herbertot as well. He's going to be lapping into the top 10 in this final race, Jeffrey Herlings. And look at him carrying the speed through there. That's Calvin Valandren. He's 13th, just about to get lapped on the HSF Logistics KTM. These guys are flagging at the end of the race, and Herlings is getting stronger and stronger. Rails the outside. Valandren lets him go. David Herbertot is next in 12th place. What a performance from Jeffrey Herlings in moto number 2. He did say when it gets rough, he'll be a little bit more, or he'll be enjoying it a little bit more. Herbertot just ahead of him on the Honda Garibaldi machine. Herlings just has to check a little bit there. Herbertot looks back and thinks, man, I am in 12th place and I'm getting lapped here by Jeffrey Herlings with 2 to go. Some of them aren't even going to see the 2-lap board, because that went out a lap ago. Jeffrey Herlings already getting over the line in 2 turns time. Oh, corner speed then in that tight left. Over the line, 1 to go for the Bullet. A 1:54.6. Incredible speed and pace here from Jeffrey Herlings, and such a dominant display. Just wonder if we can just follow him just for this final lap. He's not letting up at all. Brent Van Donnick just ahead of him on the Khmer Yamaha. Just look how easy he's able to side his way through Jeffrey Herlings. Goes up past Van Donnick, who is 11th in the race. Haven't seen him dominate. Quick signal back to the mechanics, say, yeah, well, you know, it's just one of those races. Brilikov just ahead of him in 10th. Absolutely hitting everything perfect is Jeffrey Herlings, and not cruising on the final lap. He just wants to demoralize everybody. Brilikov looks over and sees Herlings coming through and thinks, man, what have I got to do? Well, there's the level, guys. You want to beat this kid, that is the level. You've got to improve your pace by a lap, not just a couple seconds a lap. you've got to improve it by a lap by the end of the race. Alvin Osland is next on the Wilvo standing construct Yamaha. Hurling's absolutely on fire in this second race. Nice. How far is he going to lap up to? Well, there's Robert just ahead of him in 8th place. He won't even spare the Latvian. Down the inside. Just phenomenal. Hurling's up on the up on the pegs in the final turn with such speed and finesse, and Hurling's wraps it up here with a double moto victory. Absolutely decimates the field. He laps up to Robert just in 8th place. Brian Borgers was just let off the hook there, and he's probably even barely breaking a sweat, is he? But Wayne Banks, yeah, I'll give you a ride back, mate. That's his mechanic. He's like, yeah, good job, mate, good job. They'll watch this back and they'll see what we just saw. An absolutely demolition job from the king himself, Jeffrey Hurlings. Wiped the floor with everybody. Here's Max Anstey, just trying to work his way back to a little bit of confidence. He does that here this weekend. He wanted to get on the podium. He's finally going to get that here. Just 3 corners to go. And the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna of Max Anstey lands into the penultimate corner. The right-hander cruises to 2nd place. That's a 2-2, a brace of seconds for Anstey. 44 points on the board, his biggest points haul of the season so far. He's finally made it to the podium. Onwards and upwards now for Max Anstey. And a great ride for the guy behind him as well, Jeremy Searle, coming home in 3rd. Matches that with his 4th in race 1, gives him 38 points. And he is going to be on the podium for the 5th time in a row. Here's Hurlings.
Jeffrey Hurlings, congratulations. The bullet strikes again. 6 out of 6 overall victories for you. Are you getting bored of this?
Never. Winning never gets bored, but, you know, I put in so much hard work, so finally it's paying off. You know, I had some bad luck in the past, and it's looking like things getting my way now, but don't want to say things too quick because it might can change like the weather, but really happy about my weekend. Even pulled a whole shot second motor, I think, so really pleased and looking forward to next week in Tuchenthal, and man, can't thank Red Bull KTM race team enough, man. Thanks to you guys, I'm winning. Thank you.
Great job, Jeffrey. Thank you.
The bullet banks another bonus here then in Latvia. 6 on the bounce for Hurlings, but what a way. The speed that he was carrying right until the final lap. A 53.0 on his final lap, 10 seconds quicker than Anstey, 7 seconds quicker than Siwa and Petrov. 8 seconds quicker than Petrov and Paturel, sorry. And he was absolutely on fire in moto number 2, Jeffrey Hurlings. And win number 53 in the books for the Dutchman. Now that it's calmed down, Jeffrey Hurlings confirmed then as the winner in moto number 2. Max Anstey, great ride from him in 2nd. Jeremy Searle 3rd, and that's the podium as well. Petrov 4th, Paturel 5th. Ferrandis, good ride from him off the floor at turn 1. Borges 7, and Robert just 8. He'll be pleased with that. Alvin Osland 9, and Sever Bulikov 10. Brent Van Donnick, Calvin Belandren, David Herberto, pulls Jonas off the deck in 14th. Bernardini, Jacobi, Trepepi, Zakina, Graulis, Ika Laranaga, rounding out the top 20 in race 2 here. Round 6 of the FIM MX2 Motocross World Championship in Latvia. Podium then, Hurlings, Anstey, Siwa, as it was in race 2. And looking good for Jeremy Siwa. Petrov 4th overall. Ferrandis 5th on his return back to racing. He'll be pleased with that because he showed good speed and good fitness as well in that 2nd race to come off the floor in moto number 2. Benoit Paturel, career best for him here in 6th. Jonas 7th, he'll be disappointed with that. Bogus 8th, Van Donnick 9, and Belandren 10th. But Jeffrey Hurlings on 300 points now at the top of the MX2 World Championship standings. And I wonder what that guy there, Michele Rinaldi, thinks to it all. Seen some things in his time, that man has. But Hurling's on 300, 70 points clear of Siwa. Jonas now third, as he was. Petrov up to fourth, Tonkov down to fifth. Anstey up to ninth now. And Ferrandis on the board. Again, 15th in the championship standings for him. Climbs 2 more places after his performance here today. Manufacturers, of course, KTM have won every single race. 300 points on the board for them. Suzuki, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Husqvarna, TM and Honda. So, foxhole shot then right at the start of the race, about 40 minutes ago. Jeffrey Hurlings thought it was him, was it? Just by a nobble, possibly. Gets the nod as well. Martin Bowman, the Fox dealer here. Smile, you're on camera. Jeffrey Hurlings on 4, Max Anstey on 4, Horst Jonas on 3. And Dylan Ferrandis